future of Major League Baseball is officially here. The 2026 preseason top 100 prospect list just dropped, and I'm telling you right now, this might be one of the most talented prospect classes we've seen in years. We're talking a #1 overall prospect already being called a future superstar. Bryce Harper personally said he's going to be a stud. A #2 prospect trained on the lessons of Tony Gwynn and Larry Bird. He's an infielder climbing into elite rookie conversations. And third, a Mets pitching phenom already being whispered in the same breath as Seaver, Gooden, and deGrom. Yeah, we're going deep today. This isn't just a list breakdown. This is about the next faces of baseball. Drop in the comments right now. Who's the next MLB superstar? Let's get into it. The 2026 top 100 prospect list shows something very important about where baseball is heading. This isn't just about tools anymore. This is about advanced approach, plate discipline, athletic versatility, two-way upside, elite pitch design, and high baseball IQ. The modern MLB prospect isn't just talented. They're developed. They're data-driven. They're polished. And this list shows a shift. We're seeing more shortstops than ever. More athletic 6'3" to 6'5" position players. Pitchers throwing 97 plus with wipeout secondary stuff. And players who grew up training like pros at only the age of 14. The gap between AAA and MLB is shrinking, which means these guys aren't years away. They're coming fast, and leading that charge is the #1 prospect in baseball. Let's talk about Konnor Griffin, because the hype is real. Griffin has everything scouts dream about. He's an elite athlete, has power, has speed, has defensive versatility, and also that it factor. He's 6'4", explosive, twitchy, and projects to be a 30-30 type player. But here's what separates him. It's not just physical tools. It's the maturity, the confidence, the superstar presence. When you have veterans and former players already whispering future face of baseball, you pay attention. Now here's the key question. Is this hype too early, or are we watching the next franchise cornerstone? When young players enter the league with this level of buzz, history tells us one of two things. They become generational, or the expectations crush them. But Griffin feels different. Why? Because he plays like the game slows down for him. And when baseball slows down for a 20-year-old, that's special. If he hits the ceiling, we're not talking all-star. We're talking MVP conversations. Now let's talk about what really pushed this hype into overdrive. Bryce Harper. When a former MVP, former #1 overall pick, and face of the game type player looks at a prospect and says, he's going to be a stud, man, that matters. Harper understands pressure. He was the chosen one at 16. He knows what it takes to survive hype. So when he gives public approval, that's not random. That's recognition. And here's why that matters. Young prospects need validation from stars. It boosts confidence. It builds narrative. And baseball thrives on narrative. This isn't just a prospect now. This is a storyline. And MLB needs new storylines. Now here's where it gets fascinating. The #2 prospect didn't just grow up swinging hard and chasing exit velocity. He studied Tony Gwynn. Tony Gwynn, the master of contact, the king of plate discipline, the man who treated hitting like a science. But here's the twist. He also studied Larry Bird. Larry Bird. Why? Because greatness is mental. Bird wasn't the fastest, wasn't the most athletic, but he understood leverage, angles, and moments. That tells me this prospect isn't just physically gifted. He's cerebral, and baseball IQ is becoming the ultimate separator. You can teach launch angles. You can teach mechanics. You can't teach instinct. That's born from study. If this kid blends Gwynn's approach with Bird's eager to compete, we're looking at a franchise anchor. Now let's shift to Detroit. Kevin McGonigle, quietly climbing, quietly earning respect, quietly being named among elite rookies. The Tigers have been rebuilding for years, but McGonigle represents something different. He represents refinement. He's not flashy, he's not loud, he's efficient. And sometimes those are the guys who become core players for 10 plus years. The Tigers need stability. They need a high floor bat. They need someone who controls at-bats. McGonigle might be that piece. Now Mets fans, this one's for us. Nolan McLean. When you start hearing names like Seaver, Gooden, deGrom, you better be special. Because Mets fans do not throw those comparisons around lightly. McLean has power stuff, competitive fire, big game presence, and the edge that scouts love. SNY's story talks about his competitive edge. That's not just fluff, that's mentality. And elite pitchers need control aggression. They need that give me the ball mindset. The Mets haven't had sustained pitching dominance in years. If McLean hits the ceiling, Citi Field becomes electric again. And if he becomes even 75% of those legendary comps, the Mets are back in business. Here's the big picture. Baseball is shifting. We are entering a new era. The 2010s were Trout, Kershaw, Scherzer, Cabrera. The 2020s gave us Ohtani, Acuna, Soto, Judge, Betts. The late 2020s, Griffin, McLean, McGonigle, and this entire top 100 wave. And that's what makes this list so powerful. It's not just rankings. It's a preview of who will headline All-Star games, who will sign $400 million deals, who will carry franchises, who will define October. So I'll leave you with this. Who from this top 100 becomes the face of baseball? Drop it below. And if you really like deep MLB breakdowns like this, subscribe. Because we're not just reacting to baseball, we're tracking the future of it. I'll see you in the next one.